Okay, grade 9. We're gonna start the first lesson, the first chapter, chapter 1. We're gonna do lesson 1.1. It's called Properties of Real Numbers, page 2. Okay, the first part, we're gonna talk about real numbers. What does it mean, real numbers? First, all the numbers that we know are called real numbers. Everything is called real numbers. You're gonna see later in grade 11 something called complex numbers. We'll not talk about it now, and you don't need to know anything about it. But the real numbers are divided in two parts. You have rational and you have irrational numbers. What does it mean, rational numbers? We have three parts in rational numbers. We have the fractions. Fractions are called rational numbers. For example, here, when if you see 7 over 5, this is a rational number. Okay, this is a fraction. Minus 3 over 2, this is a fraction. Terminating or repeating decimal. We have 0.3 here and minus 1.2 is a terminating decimal. What does it mean, repeating decimal? When I talk about repeating decimal, it means you can, for example, 2 point, for example, 33, 4, 33, 4, 33, 4. It's a repeating decimal part. Okay, you can see, for example, 1.22222. This is also rational. Okay, integers, when I talk about integers, it means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2. Those are in the integers here. 2, minus 3, those are integers. And you have the irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, it means I cannot write those as a fractions. What does it mean? It's a decimal that is not ending and there is no repeating pattern. For example, like here we have 1.23458. If you do radical 2 on the calculator, also it's 1 point many numbers after the decimal point, and it's not a pattern. So it's an irrational number. Let's pass to the other page. Properties of real numbers. Okay, we have this is very important. Properties are divided in two parts, for the addition and for the multiplication. We have first here as the first one, forget about it, I don't want it. Okay, this one please don't write it, we don't need it. Okay, it's nothing very important. Let's go to the commutative, associative, identity, inverse, and distributive. Those I really care about. Commutative. What does it mean, commutative? I can change the numbers. I can change their place. What does it mean? It means if I have a plus b, it's the same as b plus a. If you have the number, for example, 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2. Both, they will give you the same answer. It's 5. If I do 2 times 3 for the multiplication, the commutative, 2 times 3, it's 6. And 3 times 2, also it's 6. So that this is the commutative for the multiplication. Let's go to the associative. Okay? It means I can associate each two alone. Okay? For example, if you have 2 plus 3 plus 4, for example, I can add first 2 plus 3. Okay? Then the answer 5 plus 4 to give me 9. Or I can add 3 plus 4 first, then the answer plus 2, and give you the same answer. So I can take any two first because I'm adding. I can do it because it's an addition. Okay, so I can or take 2 plus 3, then the answer plus 4. Or I do 3 plus 4 first, then the answer plus 2, and I will have in both cases the same answer. For the multiplication, it's the same. If you're doing 2 times 3 times 4, you can do 2 times 3, 6, times 4, then the answer times 4, it's 24. Or you can do 3 times 4 first, then the answer times 2, and then you're going to have the same answer. Okay, if you take 3 times 4, it's 12, times 2, 24, it's the same answer. Now, identity, what does it mean, identity? It means if I add 0 to a number, I will have the same number. And for the multiplication, I'm multiplying by what? That will give me the same number by 1. For the addition, it's a number plus 0, it gives me the same number. And for the multiplication, it's times 1. And the inverse, a plus minus a. And when you add the opposite, you will have as an answer 0. For the multiplication, times the inverse. And if you do 2 times half, the answer is 1. Okay, so when I am multiplying by the inverse, I call it, this is the inverse here, and the answer is 1. Distributive, this is very important. This one, you know it from the multiplication. I'm distributing, and for example, you see this in the develop. You saw it in grade 8. For example, 2 times x plus 3. I'm doing here the distributive property. Also, I said that I'm multiplying, okay? So I do 2 times x, it's 2x. Then 2 times 3, it's plus 6. That's it. This is all the lesson, the first lesson. It's very, very, very easy. We're going to do some exercise, and you can ask me if you have any question, and then we will talk about the remaining part next time. That's it. I'm just